Welcome back to another episode of Mock Draft here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. It is our fantasy wrestling draft season, and we are doing an update fresh off of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble just occurred canonically last night as we're taping this. Canonically.
Yes, it did. It was quite the event. Quite the event. It was surprising in the amount of how, while not being surprising, it's weird. It was surprising but not surprising at the same time, but it was a good time nonetheless. If that makes more sense at all to what I'm saying.
Absolutely. As tradition with anything on this channel of you and I predicting things, neither of us had either Royal Rumble winners drafted. I don't think we would have ever thought that on the men's side of things. I feel like we kind of thought that we had that locked up as one of us was going to get those points.
Yeah.
And I would say we were also fairly confident on the woman's side as well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. At least to have some kind of points from it.
Like, not necessarily myself, but the
Yeah.
show would be receiving a 10-point bump, 20-point bump somewhere on here. And yeah, we missed on both Royal Rumble winners. Obviously, if you're watching this, you probably already know Charlotte Flair on the women's side of things, and main event Jey Uso. Yeet.
You were just
Men's
1 year
Royal
too
Rumble
early
winner.
the last time.
I people watching this channel at least will know that I have been a day one-ish.
Yeah?
It's just us, Oos. Me and you, Jay. Even though I don't have you now, but that's just because they're playing the really long game with you, and I couldn't leave your slot there this long. Like I would it would be an interesting thought experiment to go back in time and find out what points he would have accumulated for me over these last 7 months since I first drafted him, where I thought he was going to bring me huge points and frankly brought me very little. So yeah, 5 points. 5 points in our first act of this first section of this season, before I unfortunately had to drop him because I thought he was getting the big gold then. But congratulations to Jey Uso. What an amazing night. Yeah, when CM Punk was eliminated by Logan Paul, and I realized standing behind Logan Paul, it was John Cena and Jey Uso. In that moment, I knew it was going to be Jey Uso, and it was a hype train from there. I'm so excited for him. But outside of the winners, thoughts on Royal Rumble?
Uh,
Maybe specifically related to our points gathered last night.
Where's Becky?
Oh, where's Becky?
Jade?
Where's Jade Cargill? Yeah,
two fat goose eggs from the Rumble thing.
absolutely. I mean, you can excuse a Rhea Ripley, a Gunther, a Tiffany Stratton getting zeros,
Yeah.
because they're not going to be in the Rumble matches, and then there's only so many non-Rumble matches that are going to be on this pay-per-view. But
No
yeah,
New Day.
no New Day.
None of this. A New Day shirt.
It's a New Day shirt. Yeah, no New Day stuff at all. No New Day, just villainy in there. No New Day being the villain comic elimination of just like, that I saw a lot of people assuming that if it wasn't going to be a Big E spot, It was going to be a they walk in and no matter who's in the ring, they all decide, all right,
Yeah,
we all hate New
target
Day
them.
now.
Yeah,
And then it's just like immediate elimination from a big group, just like press slamming them out. No, we didn't get any of that.
Street Profits, no Montez Ford going in to be like, I'm super athletic.
Big night for Street Profits, though, I would say on confirming their place in the company. I was
Yeah.
very concerned as a fan of Street Profits. I'm sure you had some concern as a member of your team, that they might not even be with the company anymore.
Maybe you're telling me about
Been a
that.
long time since they've been on TV. They've clearly moved their manager off of them, and their manager is now trying to do singles wrestling and is also kind of managing Michin now. Um, it's it, it was very scary there as a Street Profit fan of WWE, to go through that last month. But I'm
Yeah. But
glad I
now
was
they're
really
back and
happy to
apparently
see them.
heels. I
You
say
can do,
apparently.
I would say because it's against a heel and because it's against a
Oh, that's right.
babyface team that's
They
not
hate DIY more than they hate
they
the MCMG. So
they
maybe
hate
not.
DIY, and DIY is likely the people that did the backstage attack angle against them.
In
And
which case they're probably
Hard
still the face.
Truth's Motor City Machine Guns is a babyface crew that is not getting any reactions despite the push right now. And I feel like it has been a consistent push forward. Like, no, we're gonna
Yeah.
get through this. You guys are gonna build the acclaim. But it's just it hasn't happened yet, and I'm not saying shut it down, but I'm just saying maybe they slot back to third or fourth team in these rankings for a minute. Let them
Yeah.
climb themselves up. I mean, it seems like on the SmackDown side of things, we're building to a pretty big WrestleMania tag event. You got DIY, you have Motor City Machine Guns, you have Street Profits, you have Pretty Deadly, and you have Los Garza, all kind of feuding with each other. They've been working really hard the last 2 months to build something complex, multi-layered storylining for tag teams. I think it's building to a multi-man probably ladder, but I'd love to see them figure out something new and different to do with these multi-team stories. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but Street Profits back. That's a nice thing to see. But no
Yeah.
Rumble appearances, like you said.
Hmm.
No surprises at all on the men's side of things. I was really looking for that 65,000 strong whoop that trick from the NXT roster, but that did not occur. Maybe that's I guess that's a next year thing to look forward to. Anything else on that side of things before we start getting into our business?
Uh, as far as things, well, we were talking about our goose eggs from the Rumble and our bad predictions and how we were like, oh, there needs to be a 10 bump for somebody, or we thought we would at least. But we almost left this event with far less points than we did. However, we decided last second to turn it to an even more pivotal and changing event than it was because we decided that if you're entered the rumble, like the morning of, we're like, if you're entered into the rumble, you get a point. And then like about 5 minutes or so into the rumble, into the women's rumble, texts were exchanged, and we decided point per elimination because it's the Royal Rumble. Why not? And because of that, points were had a lot in droves on both teams that night. Because Nia Jax is on my team and Roman Reigns is on his. Uh, and yeah, so lots of points done there. And Cena even got some points. So part of the reason, still big breadwinner points here, Miss Jax. And this guy,
New to your MVP squad.
I got him to get rid of him in the first thing. I'm just like, as long as he's got this belt, he's got it. I just need some championship points for when he loses it. This man has been a rock for the team. Part of why I was saying, Hart, I've grown attached to Damian Priest over the last
Hmm.
year. And then he eliminates Drew before Drew can get me some more points. But that's fine.
I mean, we've talked about it before. There's two ways to build this roster, or I guess three ways, because there's a mix. Like there's two things to go for. You have your big elite names who are going to be in your big elite, big point money matches. And then you have your workhorses that are going to do basic single matches on Raw and get you 1 point once a week, almost without fail. I would say you have that in an EO Sky at times. You have that in Damian Priest at times, particularly in this section of our season. Damian Priest has just been an absolute workhorse for you on TV.
He just throughout the year, like Gunther, like was getting me more points because he had the title defenses, but Priest was like beating Dominic's ass every week just to beat Dominic's ass, and still eliminated Dominic from the Rumble. So giving me a Dominic losing point as well as a Priest elimination, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we take those. Good shit,
For
Damien.
my section of my season, I've reverted back to Act One of our season, where my MVPs were our crown jewel champions here, Liv Morgan and Cody Rhodes. Liv is the top of the pile with 12 points in this season, and then Cody Rhodes has 11 points, despite only appearing in two matches in this section of our season. Um, but those are, as I said, like those are giant main event, main title matches. So big points had. Liv Morgan has kind of done the reverse of what she was doing in the first act of our season, and has been more of a TV workhorse, and getting a lot of singles and tag victories on regular TV. So we got that going for us. So we're going to go through and we're going to adjust. This is our last opportunity for before Elimination Chamber and before WrestleMania to drop one person and add one person from each of the categories in our on our team. And our categories are men, women, tag, and our pivotal loser category. Of course, loser category is going to be a person who gains points from losing their matches. Omari, where as the we currently sit at myself at 292 and you at 279. So as the underdog here, you will be dropping and drafting first. As I said, we still have our elimination chamber 3 or 4 weeks away, where there's another 10 point victory on both the women's and the men's side available, as well as our WrestleMania points, which we have decided, and these are still subject to change, just like the Royal Rumble was last night. But a normal, just a regular singles match, you're on WrestleMania, it's going to be 5 points. If you lose a regular match at WrestleMania, it's 2 points because you were on WrestleMania and you had a match. That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
If you have a mid-title match, tag team, intercontinental, US, men's or women's side, that is 8 points for a victory and 3 points for a loss, in a main title match at WrestleMania. That is the two men's heavyweight championships, the two women's championships. That is 10 points for a victory, 5 points for a loss. We are adding 3 bonus points if you participate in a special stipulation match at WrestleMania, as well as 2 points the first time this season. We will give you points for a non-wrestling event. 2 points if you have a promo segment in the confines of WrestleMania's start time. That's not pre-shows, that's not post-shows. If it's inside WrestleMania and you have a promo segment, whether it's backstage or in the ring or from the crowd, hey, I'm here to talk about Slim Jims. Hey, I'm here to say that we have 70,000 people in this building. This is the most money WWE's ever made from ever. You just paid a lot of freaking money for your tickets. Cheer for it. Woo! We just paid a lot of money. You get 2 points for that event if you're a wrestler.
Cool.
So we
What
got
now? What about a pre-show match at Mania?
pre-show match. We haven't
Is that
talked
still
about
Mania points?
I don't believe they've done it in the Triple H era at
They
all.
haven't.
But we
But with
can.
that, but in the event that they decide to, because it's Mania, would it still be Mania points
I would say it's not going to be a
or just
normal
normal
match
PLE?
category.
How about PLE
Maybe
points?
we do PLE points. Yeah.
Okay, I'm fine with that. All right. So, yeah. All right. So we got to the drafting point where we got to make big decisions, and I have an
Big
easy
decisions.
decision. I have an
This is
easy
probably going to
decision.
be the most points
Yeah.
section of our season.
Yeah. Now there are two obvious choices that one can go for that are not on either team, but one's a lot easier to slot in than the other for me. And for that reason, she didn't show up last night, so I have to drop Jade Cargill, and I'm going to get Charlotte Flair on my women's. I thought about the other obvious choice, but I don't know who I want to drop on the men's team. Nobody's goose egging it up right now. Jade Cargill is. So it would only make sense that I do that.
Hmm.
So
I did not prep
I got you.
my end of things, so
Oh,
let
got
me
you.
do that real quick.
Yep. I'll put the name in here.
Perfect,
Teamwork.
perfect. Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, you're choosing somebody who's guaranteed to go to WrestleMania. That makes all the sense in the world. Um, to counter that,
Yeah.
what what do
There's
I
only
do?
one. Yeah, there's only one. Well, I mean, it's a hard decision. Or is it?
I mean, it's pretty hard because I'm looking at Cody Rhodes. Not gonna drop Cody Rhodes. I'm looking at Braun Breaker, the active Intercontinental Champion. I
And
don't
and a
think,
guy that they're clearly just rah, I'm here
yeah,
to kill
yeah.
people every week.
Even if he drops the belt tomorrow, he's going to continue doing something else. But I doubt he's dropping the belt tomorrow. Um, then I have Roman Reigns,
The tribal chief himself.
the tribal chief Roman Reigns, who is not going to wrestle outside of Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania, probably.
I mean, you'd have to think he's a guaranteed WrestleMania match.
He is a guaranteed WrestleMania match. And then there's Seth Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins, you have to imagine, is a guaranteed WrestleMania match.
And he's very mad. You saw it last night.
And I think he's going to wrestle more. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Am I going to?
Are you?
I think I might.
See, this is why I didn't want to make the decision because I have John Cena, which, his storyline be damned, he's fighting at Mania. Drew McIntyre. is Drew McIntyre. Gotta figure he's fighting. It's so and then Damian Priest and Gunther have been my fucking point getters for the whole year.
But here's the thing. I think this man is building to win a world title at WrestleMania.
Yes. Yep.
I'm dropping Roman Reigns and I'm adding Jey Uso back to the squad.
Dropped Roman. Okay.
I dropped Roman Reigns because I think Seth Rollins is also going to be at WrestleMania, could win or lose. Frankly, Roman Reigns could win or lose.
Mhm.
It, I I feel like we're building to a multi-man match
With like a Punk Rollins Reigns
or even four-way. Drew.
Drew. Actually, that's probably gonna be Elimination Chamber. Just throw two other people in there that hate each other in that.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, I think
So do
Elimination Chamber is going to somehow be Cena.
you think Cena's winning the
I think
Elimination
Cena's
Chamber?
winning, and then the
Okay.
leftovers from WrestleMania have a
They fight each
four-way.
other. Okay.
Is maybe something that's kicking around in my brain. So, because of that, yeah, I have dropped Roman Reigns, and I'm going to add Jey Uso, and I can't believe I've done it.
Hey, I didn't want to drop Drew for Jay, but that's probably who I would have ended up dropping for Jay. Because like you said, I like you feel like he's winning that title at Mania.
Now that Jay has guaranteed, I mean, unless they do some crazy shit, which isn't unheard of like he puts his title shot on the line at some point between now and Mania. He is guaranteed for one of the two title shots.
Yep.
And so if that's happening, then there's only so much more room. A lot of our guys
Pretty
are
sure
just
he
going to end up
already said
having
at a
a
press
match.
conference he'd like to play. He would probably like to face Gunther because he thinks
Yeah,
he
they're
can beat
being
him,
they're being
and
pretty
that seems
clear
to be
about
the
that.
story.
And I mean, Cody versus Jay is just,
Yeah.
hey, the one and two of what kids like. Let's make them fight each other. That sounds like a good idea. No.
Oh, and they can make this storyline for Gunther when he loses it to Jay. They turn it into a guy who can't win at the big event. It's like, oh, is he really that good to begin with? He can't win at Mania. He
He can
always
dominate
loses at
everywhere
Mania.
else, but when it comes to the big show,
Yeah. Then again, he did beat Drew and Sheamus the previous year in the
yeah,
triple
that's
threat.
that's that's true. That's true. That's true.
So he's not quite winless. Anyway, so yeah, Jay Uso. So now I have to decide with the men that I have. I've already gone over. Oh no, it's Snake, right? So you get two.
Oh, yeah, 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 do we normally do that in the redraft?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think we do Snake.
Okay. Okay. If that's the case, what am I gonna do with my ladies? I have Tiffany Stratton, I have Liv Morgan, I have Bianca Belair, and I have Becky Lynch. Is Becky not coming back? Do I feel like I have to drop Becky? Okay, who is Elimination Chamber? Elimination Chamber is Bianca. It is maybe probably Naya at this point. Io. Um, it's probably Liv. Probably not like Raquel or anybody. Um, Still need to get two names in there. I feel like Becky could still come back. Naomi. And then you could
He's a
easily
good
bring up, you
choice.
could easily do Bailey or any NXT
Mm.
standout.
You had Bailey at one point.
I did say Bailey already.
No, I said at one point you had her, I thought.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I'm struggling here. I'm struggling. I'm gonna go ahead and drop Becky. Maybe she is taking an extended break. Maybe if she comes back, it's going to be a Raw after Mania thing. Um, and I'm ahead, so I'm gonna play bold. And I want to get some TV points. I'm gonna make a prediction. I am gonna draft Roxanne Perez, who isn't even officially on the roster,
But you think she's gonna start being?
but she just set the new record for longest time spent in a single Royal Rumble. She went from three to second to last. Um, the runner-up of the Rumble. I mean, that is gigantic for her. I think I think she is getting called up. People have been fans of modern NXT have been calling for it for like 2 years, saying that she's ready. And then the only thing she needed was to work out if she was going to be anything but a baby face. Then she spent this entire year as a villain, and I think it's time. I think they just told us it's time. I think she will do a good amount of TV matches.
Okay,
And then maybe she fights Bailey or something at WrestleMania.
understood.
Bailey puts her over. That's kind of my prediction for this one, but I'm taking a stab in the dark because I don't really know where to go in replacing Becky, other than like a Bailey. Um, because I don't know who else is there uh to compete for that.
Yeah. Yeah, the Becky. See, I figured if I didn't get Charlotte and instead I got Jay and dropped somebody, you having the empty spot with Becky could just swap Becky out for Charlotte like I swapped Jade out for
Oh
Charlotte.
yeah, if
That's why
Charlotte
I was
wasn't
like,
available or Charlotte was available, I would have done that for sure.
yeah, that's why I was like, I don't want to give you Jay Uso, but I have to pick one or the other. And
You made me do the harder decision at least.
Charlotte was an easier choice, or Jade was an easier choice of who to drop. Hey,
Absolutely.
I had her. I tried to. She was one of the first people I drafted on this thing. I tried to stick with it. They're going
I think
another
literally
direction with this injury.
the first person you drafted. That's why she's first in our
Yeah.
IRL and our list of names on your team. I'm pretty because I
So
drafted Cody first and then Bianca second.
yeah, and I thought they were going places with her. Anyway, let's see. Oh yeah, you got Bianca second, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get her competition, Jade. They end up being a tag team. That said, my men's division: Cena, Gunther, McIntyre, Priest. I, I'm keeping them. I don't think I'm making any changes to the men's. Um, my loser, the dirty one himself, Dominic Mysterio. I have no reason really to get rid of him. He's Dominic Mysterio, but I
Someday it's gonna
just,
bite you in the ass, just like Chelsea is for me, where he's just he it gets to the undeniable point where
yeah.
like he's so good at a heel that we gotta let him get something big.
But does that
But
happen before
that time is
WrestleMania?
not now. No, yeah.
But does that happen before WrestleMania? And I don't think it does. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep Dominic. And so that just leaves my decision of do I replace a tag team? I have Motor City Machine Guns and Street Profits. Street Profits, if they hadn't done what they just did last night, could have made this a lot easier decision for me. But then they decided to show up and be like, we're challenging for the titles. Okay. So it goes back to what you were talking about with Motor City Machine Guns. Have they decided this ain't gonna work? Was last night them saying this ain't gonna work? Take them off the roster for a bit, or is
I
this
didn't
about
say
to
take
be
him
a
off the
three-way?
roster.
Well, sit him on the bench till after WrestleMania.
Or
I don't
just
know if
drop
that's
him in the
happening.
just drop him in the rankings a little bit.
Yeah, but
Like they can be a once a month match as they build up to a number. They don't need to be the perennial number one contenders
yeah,
like they have been for the last 3 months.
yeah, and I can agree with that. Or do they have this now be a three-way feud between the three teams? Because motherfucker, I get y'all hate DIY, but you hit us with a crutch first. And I think that's where they're going. And because, it's between now and Mania, I think I'm leaving my team where it is.
Whoa!
Because
Humongous.
I don't know if I want to swap out
Humongous.
anybody.
All
I thought
right.
about Street Profits, but they're going to be challenging for the title. So I don't. Again,
Okay.
if they hadn't, I'd have gotten like somebody else. But here we
No,
are.
that's
It
fair.
goes to
That's
you.
fair. That's fair. I have changed my men's division. I've changed my women's division. Will I drop my loser Chelsea Green? No, I'm stupid and I'm keeping her, despite the fact that she is actively the champion.
Hey, she got
Um,
you some points last night in the Rumble.
yeah, and she's gotten me some losing points by being disqualified. Like that's the kind of champion that I want Chelsea Green to be. Is the bell rings and she immediately smacks the referee. Like things are getting too hard and she just grabs her belt and walks off and gets the 10 count. Like those are the things that I want, and those will also earn me points. In addition to being the way I want her championship to be portrayed. So I'm not moving them. I am, however, disappointed a little bit in the booking of New Day since the
Yep.
big giant heel turn. And they could still win the matches here coming up very soon, but I don't know if they are. Like I thought at first I thought they were immediately going to go heel and then in a heelish way get the championship titles back and have a good solid reign.
You and me both.
I don't know. I don't know anymore if
I don't
that's
know what
going
the
to
point of this is
happen.
anymore.
So for this, God, do I think that the War Raiders are going to make it till WrestleMania? I don't know. I don't know. But I have no idea what they're doing with DIY at this point. It's purely only hope. And the War Raiders are actively the Raw Tag Team Champions. So I'm drafting the War Raiders and I'm
Oh, the War
dropping New
Raiders are the
Day.
tag team champions. I did not know that. Also, you said DIY. You're like, I don't know what they're doing with DIY. I'm like, they still have the title. You meant New
Oh,
Day.
I meant New Day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If our teams were reversed and I had New Day instead of Street Profits, I would have also dropped them for the War Raiders. I also would have dropped Street Profits for the War Raiders if they hadn't also decided. I didn't realize War Raiders had the title. That's on me for not paying enough attention.
Mm.
Um,
Who did you think was champions on Raw?
don't know, in all
Okay.
honesty. I just didn't know who had the belts. Uh, but that's cool. That makes sense. They have the War Raiders. 'Cause that would have been the team I picked, but I'm like, they still have these other people in this picture fighting each other, doing matches over the next few weeks. So I'm like, uh, why'd you have to show up last night, Street Profits? I would have just got you. But I went with what I thought, or I went with my gut. We'll see what happens. This is why I'm down 20 points.
Not 20.
I believe 70 to 90?
It's 11, 12, 13, 13,
It's
13,
13.
13.
Looking at it closer, it's 13. I just saw the 70 and the 90. But yeah, it's 79 and 92, so it's not as wide as it looks.
Yeah. And just the other day, it was what, 9, 7?
Something like that. Yeah.
You've gotten as close to 7, I feel like.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, this
Had the
is
titles changed last night, or had either of the titles that were defended last night changed hands? This might look different,
yeah.
but we're still here.
All right. Well, we're locked into it from here on out. We'll at this point we'll probably just catch you after WrestleMania once everything's
Yeah.
all wrapped up and with a pretty little bow. Maybe we'll mention some stats as we record things between now and Mania season. But until then, we are locked up. I have Cody Rhodes, Bianca Belair, Seth Rollins, Roxanne Perez, Jay Uso, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Braun Breaker, the War Raiders, DIY, and Chelsea Green.
I have Charlotte Flair, John Cena, Rhea Ripley, Gunther, Drew McIntyre, Io Sky, Nia Jax, Damian Priest, um, Street Profits, Motor City, and Dominic Mysterio.
All
Carry it
righty.
on.
If you like seeing us talk about other things, obviously you can return to Mock Draft here on this channel. It usually comes out on Mondays. We also have You Don't Watch Sports Live every Saturday at 11 o'clock, where we cover 3 sports topics just to sprinkle a little bit of sports information into your casual conversation, as we are the guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. We also share media back and forth on Tuesdays called This Guy Hasn't Seen. It's usually movies, but it could be TV shows, rock concerts, documentaries, whatever the like. And we share it back and forth. One guy has seen it, the other one hasn't. It's kind of like a movie club, kind of like a book club. Should do it. Omari, we
I
got
agree.
Wednesdays. Whenever they want, we got whatever we want. With Omari and friend of the channel, Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
Where else can they find you on the internet?
You can also find me on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Streaming Earth Day 240. You know what
All
that
right,
means. All
that's
right.
it.
Yep,
We're
that's
out,
all we
baby.
gotta say. We'll have a good one. We'll see you guys next time. Adios next.
LA Night.